17 is one of the best things to ever exist because, 17, like, his creativity knows no bounds. And 17's one of those guys that I know that, like, when I met him, he was like, yo, I'm a number. And I was like, he was like, we can't be friends because I'm a number. I was like, no, 17. No, 17. You're the most beautiful number. You're the most beautiful number that I could have ever even conspired. Okay? People just like to give numbers, like, people like to, like, they like to not befriend numbers because they're numbers. I mean, but, like, I feel like the numbers deserve friends. So, yeah, 17 is my friend because 17 is, he's like, really, once you get to know him, he's like the chillest guy. And like I said, 17's creativity knows no bounds, so he's like really, really, he's always trying to look for new ways to do stuff and, do stuff and all that. So 17, 17 is just one of those people that you go to when you're trying to look at the number 17. So I think 17 would be good as like an engineer because he is 17. Um, so if you take the number 17 and you subtract 7, that becomes 10. And 10 is also a pretty chill guy, but not as chill as 17. But, so, yeah, 17, you know, there was one time where he was racing a car, and he took it to, like, an airport, and then he raced it all over the airport. He was, like, racing his car, and it was, like, so cool and stuff. 17 got out, and he said he was really, really scared, but, uh, yeah, I mean, 17 made it out okay because, he's 17. He couldn't possibly not make it out okay. But, thing is that one time, like, 17 took me to this really, really far away land, and I'm pretty sure it was in outer space, but I'm not sure. He took me to this far away land, and there was, like, a big, 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 big ocean. Well, not that big, but it was like big enough for you to, like, walk outside on the patio and, like, see it. Like, it was like pink and purple, and it was like this beautiful looking sunset. Um, and it was a pretty large body of water. You could walk out and you could see like the mountains, and you could see where it starts and ends. But it led up to like a very distant city, and you could see the city. This is how big the body of water was. You could see the whole city from that, like, those several miles that it extends outwards to. Um, and so 17 took me here. And I was like, 17, why did you take me here? He was like, this is my house. I was like, oh. And the house was really nice. It was like this big temple type looking thing. It was this big, uh, it almost looked like a castle. Um, and apparently, he lives inside that thing with several people. Uh, yeah, and one of them is trying to become king or something. I don't know, but he took me to this distant city, and like there. No, he didn't say that. He took me to his house, his little temple thing, and on the patio you could see the big ocean and the distant city in the background, and it was again beautiful sunset. The water looked like it was pink and purple because of how beautiful it was, but even like the okay, so there's you're looking outside and you see the big body of water in the distant city, and there's something that's a lot more close than the distant city. Like, I would say, like, even like a oh, it's not far from the patio. It's this little small tiny island. It's the cutest tiniest island you'll ever see, really, but it's a small island. Um, and you could like swim there, which I don't think many people do. But yeah, most people just take the boat there. So if you take the boat there, there's it's kind of like just like a beach, this beach looking thing. But I haven't really been to the distant city that I haven't really been to the city that much. But, well, I mean, of course I wouldn't have been there because I've only visited Seventeen's house so many times. But what I'm trying to say is that 17 likes to live with 17. He likes to live like royal. He likes to live in royalty, and he's like born. He was like born into a pretty wealthy family. And 17, he just like, man, like his house was just so cool. His house was just so incredibly cool, man. And he had like a meditation in his like a meditation room in his house and everything. Man, it was just it was just crazy, bro. And like 17, you know, like the mountains the mountains were pretty cool. The big body of water was pretty cool. The house was pretty cool. But it wasn't as cool as 17 himself because 17, man, like once you get to know him, he's a really really crazily good guy. He's like 17, bro. He's just 17. I don't know what else you could say. Like he's 17. But yeah, so I heard that one time 17 went to the distant city and drove all of his cars there, and he drove them really fast. Actually, I think that's where the airport was. One time, one time 17 wanted to go to like this dilapidated school with me, and I was like, 17, no, I don't really enjoy dilapidated schools that much. But to each their own. 17 really has a lot of interests that are really cool. He has this he owns a social media site that's really popular. I'm not going to tell you what it is though. He's told me to keep that information private because he pretends that it's someone else that owns that social media site, but it's actually 17. Like, oh man, 17 is so cool, man. I just can't even. One of 17's hobbies is jumping on the tops of moving trucks because they like to. He finds this place. I don't know where it is, but he finds this trait. He finds this place where there's a bunch of trucks, and they all like move in a pack, and they it's like a big pack of trucks, and he likes to jump on the tops of them and just jump like he jumps on top of the trucks, and it's really really crazy and cool. And yeah, it's one of his skills, I would say. But 17 has like every skill in the universe, so it's not really surprising that he can do something like that. But you know, he's 17, bro. Like, what do you think? What do you expect from him? What less do you expect? 17 has this YouTube channel, and he gets like sponsors on it every day. It's crazy. He's racking in so much money from all these sponsors that he's getting on his YouTube, and like money just flies out of the sky because of how much money he's getting. It just rains money. It rains money on him inside of his house because of how much the pure the pure just the sheer amount of money that's being generated is just insane. Really, like you can't make it up. Like it literally just rains money in his house because these rich companies that like are selling mobile games are just they're just racking in. They're just giving him money, man. They're just giving him so much money, and they just can't stop because it's money, man. They just give him so much money. It's crazy, honestly. Like yeah, it's just so much money, man. Oh, dude. So yeah, 17 is also like really the most trustworthy person you'll ever meet, and he's also the most sincere. 17 is man, he's just a character, bro. You could trust him with anything, really. 17 is like the father that you never knew you needed or had, but he's there. Like 17 is just oh man, you really don't even know how to describe it because 17 is just so trustworthy, and he's like so crazily awesome, dude. Yeah, it's like 17. What more can you? I mean, what less can you expect from 17? I mean, he's 17. Like he's trustworthy. He's awesome. He's awesome, man. Because it's crazy. Because like one time, 17 told me about this job that he tried to audition for. Um, he had an interview for the job. It was the job as a mime, but he just wasn't really good at the he wasn't really good at the job because he didn't really have limbs. He kind of had like this stemming part of him, and he had a this round part of him, but he man he just couldn't do it. He couldn't better. Sorry about that. He couldn't really fulfill his duties as a mime, so he kind of got fired really quickly. And you know what's even more crazy is that hold on, let me collect my thoughts. Okay, so you know what's even more crazy is that 17. One time he played Age of Empires 3, and man, he just got reminded of so many things. Honestly, um, one of the things I got reminded of is his old high school yearbook. And when he looked at that yearbook, he just got reminded of it. Got reminded even so many more. Yeah, I have to sneeze. All right, I cut out me sneezing, but yeah. When 17 looked at the yearbook, he saw an image of three of his peers, and he was absolutely just taken back into this world of being young and experiencing all that, and going through all that good stuff, And he just went to page 3, and he was just he just felt so free. He felt like the freest man on earth, and you could not stop him, no matter anything. Nothing was going to tear this man down. But then the next day, he had to go to the washing machine, and then like, man, he met a couple aliens that were 60 degrees. It just makes me so happy just thinking about like how like it's crazy, man. It's crazy how happy it makes. It brings me so much joy to just like relive. Well, I mean, I didn't live it, but just just like remember how happy he was when he met those 60-degree aliens. It's crazy, honestly. Like you love to see like all your friends happy, right? Yeah. And then he got home. He had to just get a clump of wax. He had to get a clump of wax, and he was so fascinated by it that he just didn't want to. I think all this is just proof that 17 is just pretty much the most awesome guy you could even think about. You could ever even imagine. I recommend that everybody just try to experience 17 for yourself. One thing about 17 is that he likes dogs. He has a liking towards dogs, and he likes to pet them, and like he draws little pictures of them even sometimes. But he also like draws cockroaches. I'm not really sure what the deal with that is. And like dinosaurs. So yeah, dogs, cockroaches, dinosaurs, and sometimes pumpkins with glasses on. But I mean, it's just something that comes with being a number, I guess. You just have to really you just have to really listen to the news to even comprehend such a big number. Well, not big number, but he's one big guy. He is a big nice guy. Yeah, so I hope that really wraps up nicely my thoughts in 17. Um Yeah, stay safe, people. I think that you should all experience 17 for yourself. And to finish it off, I have a song that 17 wrote. 1707's on the Bruto. 1707's on the Bruto. 1707's on the Bruto. Thank you.